Hello everyone, welcome back to ASR 9000 YouTube channel. My name is Thomas Wang. I'm the technical marketing engineer of ASR 9000. In today, I'm going to talk about the ASR 9000 skill profile. People may wondering, what is skill profile? What's the purpose to use ASR 9000 skill profile? And any option for the skill profile selections. Okay, let's get into this. ASR 9000 skill profile is more looking at how to optimize the system resource to meet the customer forwarding demanding. The guideline to choose the line card profile is more depending on the optimize the system resource to meet the customer forwarding requirements. For example, if customer more focused on the layer 2 function, we could provide a relative larger MAC table support. If customer looking at the more kind of balanced layer 2 layer 3, then layer 3 profile is target for that. And if customer wanted to have an actual large layer 3 forwarding table, and such as the internet peering router, then they could be select these layer 3 XL profile. That means we will be maximize the layer 3 forwarding table and have a relative smaller layer 2 support so that to meet these kind of special requirements. To looking at the different ASR 9000 generation system, we can start with the generation 1 and 2. The first thing first, you need to be keep in mind the generation 1 and 2 is still 32-bit LX XR base. That means the addressable memory space is limited at 4 gigabytes. And some of the process, especially for BGP, you need to support the larger skill profile. For example, the layer 3 VPN support. You need the PFA to build up the PFA table and then to download to the line card. But since we have this limited memory heap space, if we're looking for support the larger layer 3, then we need to optimize the heap memory so that we can support the larger forwarding demand customer. This is the ASR 9K generation 1 and 2 line card skill profile. As you see, we using the layer 2 profile as the default. And if the customer have more of the layer 2 demanding, then this is the typical profiles that they should be used. But if they wanted to kind of increase the layer 3 forwarding table, then the layer 3 profile they can select. This is the forwarding table for up to 1 million layer 3 FIP table. And also we can support 512K for the IPv6 forwarding table. And then you can see we have relative more of the MAC table is because we shifting the system resource for the layer 3 profile. But if some of the customer, they wanted to have a higher layer 3 support, especially for those internet pairing, and we have to optimize the 32-bit LX XR heap memory so that we can optimize to support 1.3 million layer 3 FIP table. And we have relatively smaller for 650K to support IPv6. And then again, relatively a small layer 2 MAC table so that, we can meet for those customer requirements. Okay, let's moving on to the ASR 9000 generation 3, which is the Tomahawk. And this is a luxury build system. And as you see, customer demand is increasing. They're looking for layer 3 FIP table 4 million support, and then IPv6 is looking for 1 million support, and also looking for the MAC table for 1 million. Generation 3 Tomahawk is well built. It has the system resource already capable to support all those customer skill profile demanding. And so that we not require to define our system skill profile for the Tomahawk or Generation 3 line card or the system. And as you see, if you try to show hardware profile for a Tomahawk line card, they will be telling you, the skill profile is not support for this generation line card. There are two reasons, right, why we don't need this skill profile. The first thing first is the system resource already meet the target customer skill demanding. Second of all, as you know, Generation 3 is kind of a bridging system. It supports both 32-bit IO XR, and later on we support 64-bit iOS XR. And as you see, the layer 3 IPv4 and IPv6 forwarding table is doubled. The reason is the system can support more addressable memory because the 64-bit iOS XR, so that this generation system really don't need a skill profile that could be totally satisfied with all the customer skill demanding. Okay, before we move on to talk about ASR 9000 generation 4 and 5, which is the Lightspeed family, and you can think about the dual stack system deployment is increasing. What I mean the dual stack is both IPv4 and IPv6 and has been put into the customer production. And you can think about traditionally system lookup is based on the bitmap. That is the longest prefix match, right? And you build up this bitmap tree. But to support the longer IPv6 address, they use more of the lookup cycle to kind of to find the longest IPv6 prefix match. And in order to make IPv6 lookup more efficient, start with the ASR 9000 generation 4 and 5. We using a new lookup technology, which is hashing-based FIP lookup. This has been containing two parts. One part is on the chips, we have hint table and summary table. That means every IPv4 and or IPv6 prefix, you can base on the source destination IP, and then we using the hashing key to build a hashing table. And the hashing table will be help you to looking at the off-chip DRAM memory space so that we can install for those, the FIP forwarding lookup entries. But in order to make the system more efficient, the hint table means I know the routing table. If prefix is not inside my system hint table, and I can just skip it. I don't need to spin the CPU cycle so that make the lookup filtering some of those unnecessary lookup. And the summary table means you have the hash key, you have the different prefix lookup, and then you could have a very small summary table so that you can store on the chip memory, which is the SRAM, so that you can quickly take a look if there is a such summary hashing entry quickly address in the DRAM for that lookup information, and then to finish the lookup. And there are 3 forwarding hashing function to well utilize the DRAM space. And still, there may be some of the IP address they're not falling in these three hashing table, or there is a collection. Then we can use the IP overflow space. Generation 4 and 5, which is the Lightspeed Plus skill profile, is very interesting. You have the same IPv4, the IPv6 FIP table support size. One of the reason is because we are hashing based. We are using the layer 3 profile as the default, and we support 5 million either the IPv4 or the IPv6 forwarding. If you want to have some system to be more layer 2 function focused, then you can select the layer 2 profile, and we can support a maximum 2 million MAC table. At the meantime, we can support 4 million of the IPv4, IPv6 forwarding. And if you are looking for something for for example, the internet peering, and you need a larger layer 3 forwarding table, then you can select the layer 3 XL profile, and we can support maximum up to the 6 million IPv4 or IPv6 or the mixed forwarding FIP table size support. And these will have relatively small layer 2 MAC table support. Okay, last not the least, I'm giving one of the generation 4 and 5 skill profile example, and you can use hardware module profile skill layer 3 XL, and the system will be automatically remind you that you need to reboot the line card. Once the system or the line card reload has been finished, if you using show hardware module skill profile, and on that line card, and as you see, this new skill profile has been programmed into that line card so that you can support up to 6 million FIP table. Okay, so this is the overall ASR 9000 skill profile selection, and hopefully that could be clean your mind and give you some reference. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.